Hello and welcome back to part 2 of my Arsenal Invincibles recreation in FM20. Just a reminder of what I tried to do is to replicate the team from 15 years ago that went invincible in terms of the players, the tactic and the achievements in just 3 seasons. If you haven't checked out my first video, have a look at that. I go in depth in all the decisions I made in the tactic and suggest some players that I could buy in this team. We'll start looking back at the tactic, and I did make a couple of minor tweaks to it. In the first season, I changed the wing back into a complete wing back, just to affect the game in the final third even more. Crosses from the byline gets further forward. Also made Kolo Touré into a ball-playing defender. When he did play his way out of defence or bring the ball out, he took more risks with some passing. And finally, Bergkamp, I told him to get further forward, again to affect the game in the final third, make some more runs in behind. Those with a keen eye might have seen I finished first in the Premier League in this final season. But let me take you back to season 1, where it all started and how the journey unfolded. So season 1 was all about getting familiar with the tactic, selling some of the deadwood and securing that Champions League football to attract some bigger names next year. So you can see we finished third in that Champions League position. Lost 8 games, not quite invincible, but it was better than I expected in that first season. So this was our January transfer window where I spent £136 million. I thought it would be quiet, but the board gave me more money and I sold Granit Xhaka and Kolasinac to China over here. Disregard these ones here, that's what the club did in real life. So I brought in Newble as a backup goalkeeper, but the main one was Nicholas Sula coming in as Sol Campbell. Really strong, really good in the air. You can see he's an elite centre back and performed really well for me in this save. Got Thomas Partey as he was transfer listed. Could be Gilberto, but didn't quite feature much, although he was a good backup. And then finally, Felipe Anderson as Robert Perez. Great dribbling, great flair, great technique, and probably one of the best signings I made in this 3 seasons. Overall, we scored heaps of goals on the counter-attack with Torreira or someone else cutting it out, playing it into Aubameyang or Ozil, and Aubameyang here just dribbles the whole team and slots it away. He swapped with Lacazette every now and then. I feel like one of them was always injured. We scored a lot of goals from crosses, low crosses, that were tucked away. We had a good corner routine as well. Flick on from the near post to the far post, got us lots of goals. Then even that Ashley Cole roll, Kieran Tierney gets forward here and bangs one in. Felipe Anderson started to show a sign of things to come with his dazzling dribbling skills. Okay, I'll finish with the squad stats. You can see all the player goals and assists here. I'll sort by average rating. We'll see the standout performance. Callum Chambers, fans player of the season. Lacazette, 31 goals. Ozil almost getting double figures. And Reiss Nelson doing really well here too. Season 2 transfers. And I brought in the man, the myth, the legend, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic to be our Patrick Vieira. I brought in Jan Oblak underneath as well to be our Jens Lehmann. He was transfer listed. You can't turn down a keeper like that. And Jorge as a backup left back under Tierney. Thiago Almeida as Dennis Bergkamp. Ozil was getting on a bit. This guy has heaps of potential. And Manuel Akanji as Kolo Touré. He has all the attributes of a ball-playing defender, but his player traits is what stood out with me. He shoots with power, plays out of trouble and brings the ball out of defence. Exactly what a Kolo Touré would have done. This is the season that I thought we were going to do it, but it wasn't meant to be. We lost 2 games that season. A 1-0 to Man United, which we shouldn't have, and a 4-2 shock loss to Everton near the end of the season. We stormed the league though, getting 98 points. We'll look at the end of season awards. Callum Chambers, player of the season. I think he got that last year as well. Signing of the season, Thiago. And Tierney really came into his own as well at left back. We also won the FA Cup this season. And I forgot to mention we won the EFL Cup last year. I'll quickly hover over the squad stats screen so you can pause it and check out any of the stats if you like. And also the schedule. I can't go past season 2 without mentioning this 7-0 thumping of a strong Liverpool side. This was a moment when I thought it was all coming together. It was all clicking. All the players were playing well in their chosen roles and positions. And this was when we still could be unbeaten. I thought it was going to happen. But strong signs for next season. So this is how the team is shaping up coming into the final season. Pretty much complete. Forgot to mention I got Kurt Zouma as a backup. Sol Campbell as well to play on that left-hand side. But everyone's got strong links. We've won the league, won the FA Cup. Can we do it in the final season? So season 3 began and I almost pulled off the signing of the century. Kylian Mbappe, he was genuinely interested in joining Arsenal Football Club. They wanted something like 270 million. So I spent the whole transfer window trying to gather the funds. But then he signed a contract on the very last day. So instead, I'll show you the incomings to try and get us over the line. I signed Mourin Boadu for 90 million. Really good Thierry Henry, besides a little bit of a lack of flair. And then Jadon Sancho as Freddie Ljungberg. Great off the ball and finishing as well, and can play anywhere along those attacking midfielder roles. Also signed Declan Rice and Bakayoko to try and fill in that Gilberto Silva role. I've been playing Torreira there because he's just performed so well there for me. So let me take you through the schedule month by month where we see if we can do it. You can see I finished first in the Premier League again. We were unbeaten in August, September, October, November and December. I'm thinking this is it. This is when we go unbeaten. It all went downhill in January. We lost 3-1 to Wolves, and then from then on we lost a few more, including a 1-0 home defeat to Huddersfield, 20th place at the time. Our first home defeat since December in the very first season. So, can't even say I was unbeaten at home. I'll still count winning the league and the FA Cup as accomplishments. And finally, I just want to take you through some of the tactical analysis that the game gives us. So this was the final team we settled on. And if we'll take a look at the goal analysis, we can see that most of the goal types were a place shot, which is pretty standard. But the assists were mostly through balls from Bergkamp or from deeper. And then also a lot through a cross. Heaps from a corner as well. Also see the assist locations. So we did have more on the right side. I'm just going to assume, I think I mentioned it in the first video, that because everyone was so far left, it left acres of space for Callum Chambers and then Jadon Sancho in the end to put in that final ball. It's probably blown out a bit by how good a season Jadon Sancho had. He got 20 assists in that season as well. And I almost forgot to show you guys the coaching team where I just picked out any of the invincibles I could find in the game. We've got Kolo Touré here as a coach. We've got Ashley Cole, Dennis Bergkamp, Jens Lehmann, Freddie Ljungberg, and the arch nemesis of the Invincibles team, Ruud van Nistelrooy, who actually scored in the game that ended their 49-match unbeaten run. It's blasphemy, I know. In summary, I had a lot of fun with this save. I spent lots of money and managed to win every trophy available to win in England. I built a team that should challenge anyone on their day. So, going invincible is an incredibly tough task, and a very small part of me believes that this Liverpool team in the year 2020 might have a chance this year. I hope you enjoyed this first recreation of mine on Slippery Johns FM. Please like and subscribe for more content coming soon. Goodbye.